ready, sir.
So technology is currently being introduced into almost every industry, making daily tasks easier and more convenient. However, despite the resources, there's still many things that are done the old-fashioned way, at times to the detriment of the environment. Take receipts. How often do we leave them behind in shops, despite them already being printed? Or we crumble them up in our pocket or throw them straight in the bin. If it's of something of value, we might put it in a box somewhere at home and never see it again. So with this in mind, I came up with the idea of the business called Bosca-Tic or Bosca-Tic, which is Irish for ticket box. I wanted to come up with an online platform where receipts could be issued and displayed, something like a PayPal for receipts. So to actually validate this, I went out and talked to people on Wall Street during lunchtime and see what was their attitude towards it. Ultimately, they liked it. They liked the idea of having a one-stop shop for their receipts. However, it was on the single condition that it was a seamless integration into the current transaction process. They already were exposed to businesses that allowed you get a digital receipt, but they weren't interested in having to reissue or type in your email address again and again, or say it to a complete stranger across the till at a cashier. So with this in mind, I knew I had to get the stores on board to implement something like this. So I went to big shops to begin with. I went to B&H and Barnes & Noble, and of course they said no. They had already heavily invested in products similar to this and made their own network. But I asked them why they find it beneficial. And what they said is they like it because it offers them a digital platform and offers a foolproof mechanism that's easy to find any receipt that ever existed. For example, Bank of America, one of the things they do is they already have your information when you put in your ATM card, so you can just press email the receipt and it's as quick as printing it. So I took the information I learned from the big companies and asked them in the small companies. So I went to bodega-esque shops around New York. By the way, these are just photos I pulled from Google, they're not actually the people. But I went and talked to them, and they didn't want it so much for their customers, they actually wanted it for themselves. They wanted to create a back office for themselves, that they could create a digital database of clients that they could tap into for sales promotions and follow up business. So I talked to them, listened to their qualms and queries, and said I'd get back to them with a design. I went back to them a week later with an idea drawn up, and they weren't interested anymore. They saw very little difference between what I was offering and what services the likes of Square already have. However, one guy happened to overhear me, heard my accent and listened in a bit more. He himself was Irish and listened in, heard I was Irish, and said had I considered it, he said he and his friends could see an opening into such a product. He and his friends were tradesmen, and he said that as it stands, there was no such digital service for them to, he liked the features I was promoting to the shopkeeper and said that he and his friends could actually utilize it. So I looked further into the tradesmen and contractor area, and according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, there's just over 7 million contractors in the US. As it stands for issuing receipts, the biggest competitor is the carbon copy receipt. Although there are a few apps on the market, for the most part it's a simple, foolproof method of receipt issuing. The problem occurs at the end of the month when they're filing for expenses and filing their tax returns. They're left with a stack of unorganized, messy documents, at times with illegible or faded writing. And if they lose the book, they're in serious trouble. So I took this information on board and drew up a few designs. This is what I ended up with. So one of the things that contractors are known for is they go to your house to fix one job and you end up getting them to do a second. And they don't charge you for that. So a plumber comes in to fix your drain, you also ask about a leaky pipe or a leaky tap, and he does that as well but forgets to charge you. So by using a step-by-step entry method, it ensures minimal loss of business. At the end, it offers the opportunity for the client to enter their email address, and the receipt will be sent as a PDF to them, which in turn creates a digital database for the worker to be able to tap into. What's more, this database can then be organized and categorized accordingly to make sure that all expenses are easily filed at the end of the month. So to test this, I wanted to ask about price. So I went back to the same guy, showed him the product, and they liked it. So I wanted to test price in two aspects. One was how much it should cost, and secondly, what's the best business model to look at. So I asked 14 people in a group setting, and just to begin with, all of them use carbon copy receipt books to begin with. They pay between $6 and $24. Those who pay more are paying for the ability to customize receipt books, adding their name to the end of the dockets. And the books last up to about 6 months. At the same time though, they normally have 2-3 books on the go. That being said, as to apps, only one of them had ever actually paid for an app. However, 13 of them had actually subscribed to a digital platform before, such as Netflix or Spotify. I was mainly looking at either a one-off payment or a monthly subscription, which is better. So to set it up, I asked them how much was too expensive for the product and how much was too cheap that it would garner an inferior product in their mind. So when it came to a one-off payment, for too expensive, it ranged anywhere between $20 and $100. And when it was too cheap, it went from $0 up to $5. When it came to a monthly subscription, 10 to 20, and when it came to free, a large portion said such a price didn't exist, that it would create an inferior product, and went all the way up to $1. Based off this results, I do think that the best way going forward is to use $5 per month as a subscription. This also offers the opportunity not to scare customers away. It's a low enough price that people, there's not a large investment, that they can try it once, and if they don't like it, they can give it up. What's more, if we did a once-off payment, if it doesn't work, or if a once-off payment and they use it for the next 10 years, we've lost out on potential business. By also costing per transaction, it also offers us the ability to make a little bit more money for those who use the app more often. However, a few observations we noticed I noticed when I was carrying out the interview was builders have a reputation of having very bad phones. They're either Nokia-esque phones or very, very shattered screens. So with this in mind, this is something I never thought of before. So it would mean we'd have to change the idea from the app idea, or the app mightn't be the best way going forward, or if it was, we'd have to actually issue out an additional tablet or a screen that they could use, just so that it's a presentable item when dealing with clients. And that is it.